Good morning, everyone. I am Corinne. If you're watching the replay, I am from fitandfat.com. I lost 100 pounds 14 years ago, and now I teach women every single Wednesday on Facebook Live how to do the same. And today we're going to be talking about one of my topics that comes up almost on the daily somewhere, and people quote me on it, and they argue about it, and all kinds of things happen around it, and it's called the keto diet. I have never in my life seen one small word cause so much strife and drama. It is beyond me. I'm just going to tell you. So let me tell you how this subject came about. So yesterday, if you don't know, I have a group of people who listen to the podcast called the PNP Groupies, and they have their own free Facebook group. And the way to get in that Facebook group is you have to take my free course, which you can do so over on pnp411.com. I have a free course that teaches you the basics of what I believe, how to lose weight. It ain't nothing fancy. It is no restrictive bullshit, all that kind of junk. So if you're coming in here and you are thinking that you're going to get me to talk to you all about the rules of keto and all the things about the keto and stuff, probably in the wrong fucking place. So I do want to talk about, though, my opinions on it because it is brought up often. So yesterday what happened is in our groupies, there was a post about, I don't know who it is, but I swear to God, I think she might be a porn star. Jenna Jameson, I think she is a porn star. But anyway, somebody had posted something about her because she had done keto. She had lost a lot of weight. And then, and she may not, I feel sorry for this lady because maybe she's not a porn star, but I think she might be. So anyway, they had posted how she went on vacation and she had gained 4 pounds. And then there was just an innocent comment by one person who said, see, the keto diet doesn't work. Well, then the next thing we know, we had some people come in there and voice their opinions about well, don't throw shade on her, don't do this. Guys, this is the most important thing that came out of this conversation. And I went back in this morning and posted to the groupies about it, is I don't give a fuck about keto. If they were inside my tribe, this would be that, y'all always what's the difference between the free group and the tribe members? You get so much free content. I'll tell you the damn difference. Had that happened inside my tribe, we'd be coaching a fuck ton on everybody and their desire to justify their opinion, to argue with someone else. It's guys, your thoughts are everything. That whole thread was way more fascinating to me because people were sitting there and they were more worried that they'd hurt someone's feelings. And then some people were flamed up as if somebody was hurting someone's feelings. There were so many thoughts going on. I'm this is the shit that people need help about. You know what this whole thread proves? Nobody needs to talk about keto anymore. We need to be thinking about why we justify our opinions, why we think we cause other people to feel bad, why we feel bad if somebody else argues with us. It's if you love your opinion, then just love your opinion. Let other people not like it. That is the difference between being with the free stuff, where you get caught up in the doo-doo of the specifics of whether or not somebody should do keto or not. And then in the tribe, we start talking about own your shit. How are you going to show up in the world? How are you going to have opinions and stand by your own self? That is the difference. So when you guys are always asking that stuff, I just wanted to say that. But let's talk about the keto. So here's my thing when it comes to the keto diet, Weight Watchers, low carb, high carb, Mediterranean diet. You name any of them out there, including my own No BS weight loss program. They are all just eating plans. That is all they are. To me, the most important thing is, why are you choosing them? No one is ever going to lose weight until they are choosing to lose weight and they're not doing it from desperation, humiliation, shame, judging themselves, hatred of self. All of that shit right there is exactly why you continue to break diets. It is why you continue to choose one. Like, you won't choose something that you actually feel confident you can do. You won't actually choose one that fits with your lifestyle. You won't actually choose one with sanity when you're doing it from trying to run away from who you are. The best way to choose any kind of diet, no matter what it is to do it because you want better for yourself, not because you're so terrible now, but because you know something else is out there for you. You're ready to see what you're made of. You're willing to experience self-doubt, fear, like mistakes. You're willing to start doing, because let me just tell you, no one loses weight until they're ready to experience self-doubt, failure, all those kinds of things, and keep going anyway. Losing weight is your like invitation to practice all these feelings that you usually try to diet to escape from, or you eat to escape from. The people that lose the weight are the ones that are like, all right, I made a mistake, but I'm going to keep going this time. I'm not going to just beat myself up and quit for relief, to get away from my own self-hatred. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep going because I want more for myself. I'm willing to look at what's not working and move forward. That is what I work on inside my tribe. That is what makes it very different than what we do in this podcast. Like this stuff I just told you, every one of you are going to be like, well, how do you do that? Well, that's the difference. We go in there and we do the how on all of that. But I need all of you to just realize and own and know that if you're doing it from a place of self-hatred, if you're doing it from shame, if you're so desperate to lose weight that you're willing to do anything and then figure your shit out on the back end, you're just doing it wrong. Plain and simple. So if you want to know like how I started, because guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't know my how. Like all this shit that I give my tribe, I did all of that on my own. I am not saying that any of you can't figure that stuff out. I am just saying like that's the stuff you do need to figure out. You need to figure that out way more than you need to figure out macros and how many calories you can have each day and what your damn BMR is and your RMR and like all that other stuff is so irrelevant because none of that math and none of that will ever matter if you don't have your own back when things get hard. And when dieting gets hard, you all think it's when you get hungry. That is not when dieting gets hard. Dieting gets hard when you really want to eat right now because you're bored or because you're tired or because you're stressed. And you're going to choose to want something better for yourself over that. You're going to be willing to be bored. You're going to be willing to be stressed. You're going to be willing to experience those things. So then on the back end, you get to feel accomplished. You get to know that those feelings don't hurt near as bad when you start experiencing them versus eating over them and then dropping into your shame tunnel. All of that happens. So here's the thing about like keto in particular, just so that all of you know. I have nothing against it. Nothing. I just don't. I have some clients that do it and they have got autoimmune. They have got all kinds of things going on with them and it works fabulous for them and they feel amazing. My own husband loves it. Like, I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is the mindset that you're starting it at. I personally don't like it. I just don't. I like my carbs. I like to be able to eat a fucking piece of bread when I want to. I love my fruit. Like, I just had my Kodiak pancake. But that's the lifestyle I want. That's not to say that it's right or wrong for someone else. My husband tonight's going to eat little cheese wiener dogs, and I don't even know what all bullshit he eats. He just is, you know, it works for him. He always feels like he's in the zone. He feels his energetic best. He likes the food. So my thing is like, when you're sitting there and you're choosing whatever kind of meal plan you're going to do, I want you guys way more focused on like, what do I want for me? Like when it comes to your weight loss, it's like, why am I losing weight? To feel what? Your food plan is not going to create that feeling for you. Like if you want to be happy, then the best thing to do right now is to be happy that you're going to change how you eat because you're looking forward to the process of becoming a healthier version of you. I talk to my tribe all the time. One of the things that we really focus on in the tribe is enjoying the process of losing weight, loving the person you're becoming. That is way more important than what plan you end up picking. The only reason why I lost 100 pounds this time wasn't because I found the perfect plan. I had no plan. The best plan that I had was really thinking about how I wanted to think about me. I'd had my years of depression. I'd been bullied all my life. I had all the things that went on in life. Guys, seriously, like when I look around and I think, why me? Like I didn't have any reason for it to be me. And then when I had success, it was because like I look back and I think about like all the times that I had inner conversations with myself where I got really raw and honest, and I would tell myself, you know, we have to quit thinking basically I would tell myself, you have to quit thinking like a fat person. You have to quit shaming yourself. You have to quit like beating yourself up over everything. You have to quit looking back, and you have to start looking forward. And you need to be focused on today and focused on where you're going. And I just was so aware of not allowing myself to go down the road of shitty thoughts. They came in so, like, it wasn't until I paid attention to how I thought did I ever realize how shitty I thought. And that was the difference maker in losing 100 pounds. Everybody's always like, you know, what'd you eat? And, you know, how much water did you drink? And they always want to, like, did you take a pill? What's your workout schedule? That is the most irrelevant bullshit questions you should ever ask. If you ever look at a success story, ever with weight loss, don't fucking ask them what they're eating. Ask them what they're thinking about. You need to like model how they think. You gotta like start, and I'm gonna tell you right now, don't bitch and moan at me that you don't think that way now. Like, it's so hard for me. I beat myself up. Whoop, whoop, sad emoji. I don't give a fuck. Here's the thing. You'll never start thinking different until you get exhausted at the end of the day redirecting your mind. There is no time for you sitting around and thinking that you're broken and that you wish it would change and that your cross is thornier and heavier than everybody else's when it comes to thinking. No, it ain't. So get over it. Most of us in here, like if you ever are listening to me, you probably have bullshit thinking most of the time, or at least half the time, or a good part of the time. Here's the deal. It's okay. I don't care if you have the bullshit thinking. I just want you to start redirecting your mind. If you got time to think some bullshit, then you got time to redirect your mind and steer it to the direction you want to go into. Eventually, that will come up more often than the shade. But if you're not willing to put in the work of redirecting your mind, then quit moaning and groaning about it. And don't be getting all hateful about, well, if only my mama talked to me different. Only if so-and-so had carried my emotions basket for me and ran. If my husband would. I don't give a shit about them. You know who I give a shit about? You. I want to know, like, what work are you doing today? I don't care what your mom said to you in 84 and what she didn't say to you in 92. I want to know what the hell is Becky Jacks over here saying to herself today. What is she willing to tell herself 10,000 times today? How many times is Barbara Bond willing today to exhaust her brain and go to bed like butt-ass tired because all day long she told herself a new story? Every single time something else came up in her head. That is way more important than a keto diet ever will be. It's way more important than any points will ever be. The latest calorie app. You start figuring out the way people who succeed with weight loss think. And I don't mean on their highlight reel. You ask them, what do you think when you overeat? What do you tell yourself to get back on track as fast as you got off track? That's the conversations all of you should be asking. That's why I get so fucking pissed in here when y'all ask me like, what do you eat? What's a healthy fat? Like, guys, I'm all about some healthy fats, but go to damn Google. It is not like Google and Pinterest can't tell you all day long what fruits are good for you and what healthy fats you should eat. If you're going to like spend time in here, spend time on what fucking matters and what's going to change your life and what's going to really help you. That's always going to be what's going on between your ears. All right, let's do questions. I think one of my coaches is feeding me the questions while I'm getting some. Let me give a couple shout outs to some of the groupies who are in that free Facebook. Kelly Barnard. She asked ladies to post how much they have lost. And in the groupies alone, for 168 women who responded, 4,114 pounds. That's fucking awesome. All right. Lisa, it's Lisa Sharp. She had to run out and buy new clothes when her big boss called a surprise meeting and fit into smaller pants and tops despite the scale not moving. She's proved to herself she's doing a good damn job. And then we have Chelsea Hawkins, who I think I actually read this one last week, but she gets to get a shout out again. She's down 66 pounds in the groupies. If you've lost 66 pounds, you can get a shout out 2 weeks in a row. And then let me go to the questions. One of the things I did want to say, let me tell y'all a couple little things that are super exciting. So you guys know that I'm going to be opening the tribe April 3rd through the 5th, right? If you don't know, you need to go on over to get on the wait list over at pnptribe.com. A lot of you have been asking, like, are you going to do the Back to Basics Challenge? Because I usually do the Back to Basics Challenge. And this time I am not. I am doing something very different this time. Still going to give you guys free training. You're still going to get all kinds of stuff, but you don't have to sign up for it this time. As long as you've taken the free course or you're on the wait list, you will get the free training. My tribe, my private members, you guys don't need to worry about it. It's all stuff you have way deeper shit in. If you do want to participate, tribe members, y'all post in the Facebook group today, and us as coaches will figure out how to, like, we'll send you guys a schedule and a link and all that kind of stuff just so you have it. But I don't want you having to, y'all know how I am. I want you in your lane. Your lane is in PNP Tribe. We are doing the deep dive into ending our overeating this month. We're taking control over our food. You guys are like way deep. So I would much rather all of you focused on that. And for those of you who are doing like the drinking program and whatnot, I'd rather you guys just really focus on that and not on this content. This is the free content for the public. But for my public peoples, on this Sunday, the very first email is going to go out, and you are going to get a page where all throughout the rest of March, I will be releasing some trainings, and they are super exciting. We are going to do some training on the 3 keys to losing your weight for good. 3 important things I think all of you need to know. There will be a training on, are you ready to lose weight? Like, how do you know if you're ready to start doing this? A lot of you very errantly think that when you're scared, that's a sign you're not ready. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're supposed to be scared. You're not supposed to be like, oh, I guess I'll give this a whirl. Like, we don't need to be nonchalant or neutral. We either need to be scared shitless or fucking balls out excited. Like, that's how we need to be rolling. And so I'm going to do a whole training on, like, I think a lot of you, what happens is you interpret sometimes how you feel and worry about things as if it means put on the brakes. And I'm like, no, that's when you want to actually accelerate. That's the exact time to do it. That's like your brain telling you it's time. In fact, my husband is so freaking smart. Last night, he said something while we were at dinner to my son that was so smart. Let me find it. He talked about your emotions are a signal that something is out of balance. So if you're fearful or you're scared, It means you're not practicing enough doing things that allow you to not be scared of being scared. Like, I want you guys, like, I don't care if you're scared you're not going to lose your weight and stuff. I want you to be confident that you can handle being scared and do things anyway. Like, that's where we want to move to. Most of you interpret being scared as, well, I better not do it then. It's like, no, that's the exact time. It's just like when your kids are riding a bike. They're scared shitless. You don't say like, oh, well, then get off. For fuck's sake, let's wait until you're uber confident and like, I got this. Like, no. We don't tell our kids to do that. We don't tell them to quit on themselves before they even get started, just because they're scared or just because they don't know how to do it. We tell their little asses to get in there and go. And we're going to support them. You have to do the same thing with yourself. You got to tell your little ass to get in there and go. And then when things don't go the way you think they should, you support yourself. The only reason why most of you are so scared is because the moment things don't go the way that you think they should, you know what you guys do? You don't support yourself. It's like, why would you ever try things then if you're not going to have support? And most of you are doing like all that keto bullshit. You're like looking around for people to support you. It's like, no, support yourself. That is what I learned when I was losing my 100 pounds. Corinne had to support Corinne. I even had an amazing husband. He would have been more than willing to blow the smoke straight up my skirt every damn day and twice on Sunday if I'd asked him to. I am promising you. But what I realized is that I couldn't rely on him, even if he was going to be there. Because unless I believed it, it didn't matter. And the only way that I would ever believe it is if I just started telling myself a new story. He wasn't going to be able to combat, like I only have probably 10,000 shady thoughts a day. You guys probably have around 20, and I'm down to probably 8 to 10,000 a day. I mean, let's just be honest. There's no way that my husband is going to be able to tell me as at least as many times as I'm going to tell myself I can't do something that I can. It's not going to happen. So quit relying on other people to do your shit. All right. So if you want to do all of my free training, here's how it will work. I'll be sending it to you in email. You don't have to do anything. And if you don't want to do the free training, then you just delete the email. I'm making it super simple on everybody this month. The main reason I'm making it super, and this, I'm going to tell you guys, this is some exciting training. My tribe members, you will know how good this is because there is one training in particular that they are getting that is an edited version of what you guys have. Do y'all remember, I guess it was a couple weeks ago when I got super frustrated and the tribe, like there was this tribe member who was frustrated and I did my frustration rant. It's like we put it in the best of Corinne rants inside the tribe. Getting edited version. I'm like, whatever you do, don't join the tribe until you listen to this because this is the bullshit that you get when you join the tribe. All right. And then let's go on to questions. Michelle, I thought yesterday I was going to do the meal they have at work today where the proceeds go to charity. Today when I made my plan, I forgot about the lunch, so I wrote down something else. Is it okay to have the served lunch since I planned it yesterday but forgot about it today when I made my plan? I think that's fine. I don't think that that is like a cause for long-term problems with getting your weight off. You thought about it yesterday, you just forgot. I would just put it down. That'd be fine. Terry, why do I always feel like the exception to the rule? Because you keep thinking you're the exception to the rule. Terry, you'll never quit feeling that way until you call bullshit on yourself. And so like, no, Missy, you're not the exception to the rule. Here's why. Like whatever your exception is, I'm in a wheelchair and can't exercise and I've got a busted thyroid. I'm the exception to the rule. I'm the one who can't lose weight. I guarantee you there's some lady out in the world with thyroid who's in a wheelchair and she's probably losing weight or healthy. She's figured out how to do it. Like every single one of you will want to be the exception to the rule. And I will guarantee you that I have coached some lady to lose her weight who will hands down whoop your ass on your exceptions. Jill R., are you even in here? If you are, I mean, she's disabled and what have you lost, honey? Like 200 pounds? I think you're one of my, her story is amazing. When she decided to start moving, She did chair yoga. She got control over her mouth. She decided to not be the exception to the rule anymore. Will you please tell them your story, honey? Like, seriously. And I appreciate that you have sent us a video too, because you might be one of the most inspiring. Like, we got some fucking inspiring people in our tribe, but you really, like, 133 pounds. Like, I want to tell you about her. Not only has Jill lost 133 pounds, and she could have easily been the exception to the rule 100,000 times over and decided not to be. But now she's like, she has a posse of women that she meets regularly with to talk about my damn podcast. They're not even in the tribe. She's so about paying it forward. She's so about still doing her journey. Like, guys, she, like, every time you want to believe you're the exception, you're the snowflake, you're the whatever, you need to just check yourself and just say, like, when I think that fucking gets me nowhere. Like, that is what I usually tell people. It's like, even if you don't want to, like, find someone to compare yourself to be like, okay, reality check, if she can do it, so can I. I always just tell myself, how the fuck thinking is that ever going to help me? If it isn't going to help me, I'm so freaking done thinking about it. I would rather think about nothing. I'd rather think about my son. I'd rather think about my cat sleeping on the bed than to sit around and pretend that the way that I'm unique and special is broken. That fucking sucks. Like, I want you to hear what you're really thinking when you're thinking you're the exception to the rule. Sorry, my glasses got askew. Is that, here's how I'm special. I'm broken. That's bullshit. You need to tell yourself, no more. I don't do this anymore. And then the 450,792 times you want to do it again, you just tell yourself, no, I am not broken. If I'm special, it's because I'm willing to work on becoming my best self. It's not because of a litany of excuses I like to tell myself that keep me stuck in some bullshit. I want to join the tribe, but I'm having trouble with Facebook. Right now, I can't look at any of the comments. It will just knock me off. Becky, if I was you, I'd update my app. That would be one thing I would do. But you don't have to be in the Facebook to do the tribe. We have a private membership. We do have a Facebook community, but that's just where we go and chat. But there is plenty of stuff that you can do over there. But I would update my app. Would your basics or the no BS system or any of the advice you give be any different for people in highly competitive professions, lawyers, doctors, CEOs? No. Why? Like, if you're like, I'm a CEO, like, I've got lawyers and doctors in my group. Why would I ever want to would you consider doing a program for the people in these high stress, high risk? Guys, like, that is some shitty thinking. Why do you need to do something more than the basics? You might need to manage your mind around that. But even thinking that is like high risk, high stress. Guys, stress is a feeling that's created by you, not your profession, not your task list, not how, like, I own my own business. I have a staff. I'm like, oh, that's stressful. People always say that one of the most stressful things ever is to be an entrepreneur. It's like, no, it's not. I have a kid with autism. They always say that's, let me tell you, so like when our son was diagnosed back in the day, they told us that I think it was 85% of couples divorce. You know what we said? Not us. I don't give a damn what statistics say. I don't give a damn what the word on the street is about your career and all this other stuff. Thinking that you have stress in your life is a bullshit excuse. You have your life. That is what my program is all about. And everything you decide to think about it is what's going to happen. Like, that is the way it goes. It is your, like, it matters, like, you may be a lawyer, you may be a CEO, you may be a doctor and stuff, but everything you think about that is your responsibility, not your profession's responsibility to make you feel better. I have women who, like, do amazing things in my tribe, and they've learned to manage their mind around it. And that's the key. Now, for whoever asked this, I'm not really sure. There was no name with it. If you will, there is 2 podcasts you probably should listen to. So Dr. Katrina Ubell has a podcast, Weight Loss for Busy Physicians. She ain't gonna let you get away with your stress bullshit. Let's see. And then there's another one called Unfuck Your Brain by a lawyer who's a friend of mine, Cara, who's really good. And she ain't gonna let you get away with that bullshit either. I'm just gonna tell you. I got an answer for everything. Catherine, I am unsure about joining the tribe. I only have 20 pounds to lose and I've never weighed over 200. Are there people in your group like me? Yes. I feel like people would judge me. If my tribe members judge anyone, they'll be the first ones to ask to leave. They know that. We don't judge in my tribe. And here's the thing. I don't care if you have 20 pounds. I don't care if you have 10 pounds or 200 pounds. Guys, if you don't like your weight, it feels heavy. Period. I am just telling you right now. You don't get to be a special snowflake at 200 pounds or 20 pounds. You get to just have whatever you have in terms of weight loss. But yeah, we have tribe members of all sizes. I have a lot of people that join my tribe who are in maintenance, and they're joining because they lost their weight and they never lost their physical or their mental weight. They're like, now that I've learned how to lose my weight, I realize I still think like a fat person. And I got to get over that because I did not lose all this weight to still be sad, hating myself, terrified of food, like all of that. A lot of them joined to drop that shit. Well, drinking slow weight loss, even low-calorie drinks like vodka and seltzer. I mean, it's like everything can be planned and in moderation. But if you're going to sit there and say well, I need to lose weight and I want to have booze every night, I mean, you just have to make your trade. The only way that you will know if you are able to lose weight and drink is to plan your drinks and then watch your scale each week. And if you're able to lose weight doing it, then obviously you can. If you can't, then you know that you need to reduce the amount of drinks you're planning through the week until you hit that tipping point. I just started 3 days ago. Both days didn't stick to the plan entirely, but did make very good choices despite hang-ups. What do you do when planned food isn't available? Hang on one second. Both days didn't stick to the plan entirely, but did make good choices despite hangups. What do you do when planned food isn't available? I just do that. I do exactly what you do. I just make the best choice available to me. It's more about, when you're thinking about your food, guys, it's more about the thought pattern and the habit that you get into. Are you thinking about your best self when you're making your choices, or are you making excuses? Well, I didn't plan for anything, so I might as well have the free cookie they're giving me with the box lunch. It's I'm going to a conference. I'm leaving tonight for a conference, and I bought the ticket where you get the lunch and everything because we didn't know if we'd have time to go out and get lunch and all this other stuff. I was like, let's just do the easy thing. We'll just eat there. And a lot of people are like, oh, you don't even know what they're going to serve you. Panic, despair, fire and brimstone, dogs and cats living together. No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a look at the box lunch every day or whatever they supply. I'm going to make the healthiest choice there, and I'm going to eat till I'm satisfied. I'm going to make it easy. I'm not going to sit there and throw myself under the bus. That is the whole trip. I have nothing planned other than I know where I'm going to be eating dinner tonight. There is a restaurant in the hotel, and the only reason why I know that is because I'm not getting in till late. And I asked my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm going to be hungry when I land. So what do you want to do for food? And she's like, there's a hotel restaurant. And I was like, sold. That's where we'll eat. And when I get there, I'm going to make a good, healthy choice. That's all there is to it. When you think about it that way, and you're not thinking that there's wrong and right ways to eat and bad foods and good foods. I've been on a tear with my tribe here recently about good and bad foods and how they don't exist and they don't help you to think that way. It's the same thing when you go out. If you drop all that mindset and you're just you know what? I'm just going to make the best choice I can for me. What's going to make me feel good tomorrow? What will I be proud of in the morning? Asking yourself some really good questions like that. I'm loving your podcast. You've mentioned talks about transitioning into evening help. I'm a social worker and struggle with 4 to 5:30. Do you do a talk about this for teachers? Well, I don't talk about it specifically for teachers because every profession I know that comes home in the afternoon, whether it's 4 to 5:30 or it's 5 to 6:30, whatever that transition time is for women, we just talk about that. And we have another transition time. So we have a lot of women that don't get that transition time. Their transition time is 8 to 10 once they get them little kids into the bed. It's all about staging the transition time. But we do a lot of work on that because that to me is, you can ask like any of the girls in here. One of the things that I teach them is how to think about that time, how to plan for that time, and what they're going to experience that time. Most people think that they're going to experience like, oh, peace and relaxation, or I'm going to get busy doing something else. And like, that is the reason why we keep overeating, because we aren't really planning realistically for what's going to happen during that downtime. Most of you, what's going to happen during your downtime is you're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel like you should be doing something else. You're going to be feeling like you're wasting your time because you're sitting on your ass instead of eating. And all your thoughts about judging yourself for the day, judging yourself for what you got to do for the rest of the night, judging yourself for being a mom, like all of it comes up when we're not eating. So we keep eating so we don't have to go through that. And I'm like, we have to learn how to relax, and we have to learn how to like actually take the break. The food is the signal that we're looking for the break. And what we're doing is we're not learning how to take the break. But I'm going to tell you, I've never coached anyone during the transition time where they haven't told me, like they always say that if they don't eat, it's so hard, even though they're wanting a break. And I'm like, I know. And that is the part that we have to work on. What do you tell yourself when you grab for that off-plan cookie instead of the on-plan fruit? It's the mental help I need. There's something about deciding to eat the cookie, having it in your hand, realizing you shouldn't have it, and then eating it anyway. That's the cycle I need to break. Having the cookie on plan is easy. It's not an emotional battle. It's the plan battle I need help with. I would make sure that you're planning that damn cookie every single day for like a month. You need to like eat it with awareness until you're wanting to consciously choose not to eat the cookie. What most of you do is you'll plan the cookie once or twice, and then you'll plan the fruit, and then you'll eat the cookie behind your back. And I'm like, look, if you're going to eat behind your back, you might as well eat in front of your face. One of the things that we work on in the tribe is we do planned overeats, where it's a very detailed experience. We just had a girl that did one on Sunday, and she got coached by me right afterward on our group coaching call. And it's in our archive. So like all of my tribe members, if you haven't listened to it yet, you need to. But basically, when you eat something like a cookie on plan every single day, but you're really wanting to lose weight loss and it keeps popping up on the plan, the experience gets shittier and shittier. And you start wanting to skip the cookie and start choosing your goal. The point is to start teaching you how to choose your goal over choosing cookies. But the only way to get to that point is to first start with eating with complete awareness and all the things that go along with it, which means that when you eat a cookie behind your back, you're not telling yourself that you're not going to get to goal. You're talking yourself into the cookie. When you eat your cookie when it's on plan every single day and you really want your goal and you're not losing weight because you're planning cookies every single day, rather than giving up the cookie on the plan, I'd give up the cookie that like in the moment. Teach yourself to actually choose. Teach yourself to start thinking, but we really want our goal this week. And that's the piece that most of you miss. Do I have to journal? I log everything on my FitnessPal, just not into journaling. You don't have to, but you're missing out on the entire mental experience. Like you're missing out on learning how to think differently. When you're just putting in calories, you're never understanding what you're thinking about food. You're never understanding what you're thinking about your goals. You're never understanding why you choose to go on plan or off plan. You don't even understand why you're choosing to be on plan. Like you hate journaling usually because you don't like what you see. And I'm telling all of you, you need to like be willing to not like what you see and figure out what the hell you're thinking anyway, because it's in there. Whether you journal it or not, it's in there doing the damage, or it's in there propelling you forward. I like to journal a lot because a lot of times I see some of the amazing things I think that I can use in other areas of my life too. I also like to journal because I'll see things that I'm like, no wonder I'm not fucking doing whatever. If I'm thinking this, then that's exactly why I'm not showing up for myself. I need to work on that more. Do you have any advice on how to stay motivated on weight loss while trying to conceive? Yeah, I want to have a healthy pregnancy. I find it hard to stay focused on weight loss when soon I would need to gain weight, although it might take months until that happens. So, like, why are you going to pre-gain weight for a baby? I mean, and here's the thing. Most of my girls, this is what I always tell my girls. Pregnancy is the perfect time to keep your healthy habits in place. It is the perfect time to practice listening to your body and not listening to just fuck it eats. Most people that get pregnant practice fuck it eating all the way through pregnancy and then wonder why that habit's hard to break once they have a baby. It's like, no, just because you have a baby don't mean you're going to lose weight. Whatever habits you create during pregnancy and during trying to conceive are the exact habits you're going to that you're going to stack the deck with for after the baby's born. So I would probably just tell myself like, oh shit, I sure would like to lose some baby weight afterward. I don't want to create some habits that are going to make that fucking hard. How soon will we know if we made it into the next tribe opening? The moment you register. So we're only open for 3 days. So we're going to take everybody that wants to get in, but only during those 3 days. So April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. If you want in, you'll be able to get in. But if you don't get in by the 5th, by 10 p.m. Central Time on April 5th, which happens to be my brother's birthday, everyone, it also happens to be World Autism Day. And I will always remember this because my son was diagnosed on the very first World Autism Day. But anybody who wants to get in will get in. And then if you don't get in, guys, we are not opening till probably the end of June. If it's any sooner, it will be maybe the middle, but it's probably the end of June. I have all kinds of things I want to do for the tribe. And so the next opening won't be at least until then. How does it work once you sign up for once sign up for the tribe closes? Do we start an orientation immediately or is there a scheduled start date? The moment you sign up, you go straight into orientation. Like you will be given your membership, all your stuff, and then we have you do orientation. And then the following, like basically how we always do things is we bring you in. Everything is self-paced. So if you want to do if you want to go ahead and get started on the lessons for the weight loss, you get to do that as soon as you finish orientation. But what I also do is every single week we focus on one of the modules of the core program of PNP. So a lot of times when we open you guys up for newbies, my old tribe members, they re-go through it every single time with you. So it's really helpful because what I always tell people is like, you're not going to go through No BS one time and be like, girl, got it. You're going to go through it so many different times and you're going to learn so many different things every single time. Plus we have live trainings that go along with it every time we open the tribe. So like every single week, there will be at least one Q&A with me where tribe members can just ask all the questions and then we'll have like group coaching calls. But it just, every single time it just gets better. So, but no, like the second you join, that's why I always like people to just join when we first open, because then you get to go through your orientation. And if you want to like start doing the lessons as like, just to like listen to them the first time. And then as we send you an email and we're saying, this is what we're studying this week. And this is like the worksheets to do, then you can do them each week with us. But yeah, you get to like hook up to the fire hose and get started if you want to. How does someone think who lost weight when they gained all the weight back, they have a strong urge, they do not want to work out badly? How does someone think in this situation? Let's see. So how do you think, like if you had a store meet, if you gained all your weight back, if you have urges, if you don't want to work out, what do you think about in that situation? Here's what I always think about. I either can sit around and feel sorry for myself or I can sit around and get busy. Which one would I rather do? When I'm having an urge to eat, when it's a strong urge, I can either beat myself up for having urges, I can wish it to go away, I can make it harder on myself, or I can sit here and be like, this is what it feels like in my body, this is the worst it's going to get. Like I always ask myself, when I have a very strong urge to eat, why am I wanting to eat? Rather than focusing on the urge, I ask myself, what's wrong right now? If you're having a huge, strong urge to overeat or to eat off your plate, especially if it's like if you're like, I've got a strong urge to eat some baby carrots, I'm like, well, go eat you some baby carrots. Like, don't just sit there. But if you're going to be like, no, it's only a burger that's going to fix this, or a cheesecake, or whatever that thing is, then I'm just like, all right, so you can either sit there and maniacally focus on the cheesecake and the burgers, or you can like get all up in your own grill about how it shouldn't be happening to you and all this other stuff. That is like another form of binging. You're binging on shame, you're binging on despair, you're binging on this other stuff. And it's like, you're just figuring out a way to intensify misery rather than figuring out what's driving it to begin with. For most people, it's always going to be like bullshit that they're thinking about their day. So rather than eating, like if you think you can't fix your life, you can't control things, guess what? You won't control your mouth either. Rather than trying to eat or trying to argue with yourself, figure out why you keep thinking that the world is against you, or that you can't control things, like, or that, you know, your kids should be different, or your husbands should be different, whatever it is. That's the stuff to work on. But most of us don't want to work on that because that's hard. What we want to do is we want to argue with ourselves until we get cheesecake. Or if we don't want to go work out, we'd rather than just like building resiliency and going and doing it and being like, all right, I'm going to practice suck right now. It's going to suck to go do it. That's what I'm going to practice. I'm going to practice my willingness to like be in discomfort by going. I'm going to practice my willingness to do things that don't excite me in the moment. I'm willing to practice being super unmotivated to go do some shit. That's the stuff you guys don't practice enough. You're all waiting to feel good before you take action. And I'm like, quit waiting around to feel good first. Go do it and then feel good about showing up. And then be proud that when you didn't want to, you decided to. When it was terribly hard, you did it anyway. That is the things that like no one's teaching us. Like it's a, like there's going to be things I'm going to do today that I'm like I don't want to do. But I'm going to get them done, not because I have some amazing, exciting thought that now I feel good about it. It's like, no. You know what I'm going to be thinking? This just has to get done. And I either can argue and make it terrible and get into overwhelm and whine about it, or I can just get fucking busy and get it over with and not love doing it. I'm going to practice doing some shit I don't love. So many of us are wanting to set our life up to be the majority of it. We just love, and we're always excited, and we're always motivated, and we're always these things. That is not how it's supposed to happen. The way life is supposed to happen is we're not supposed to like compile a bunch of shit upon shit. Sometimes like we're just going to do our homework. It's like your kids. If your kids were like, oh my God, mama, I know it's my like junior year of high school, but I don't know, 3 out of 5 days a week, I'm not motivated about my homework. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not excited either. Why can't I just be excited about it? Why am I not motivated? You'd be like, get your ass in there and do your homework. Quit bitching about it. We don't have that conversation often enough with ourselves. We're too busy wanting to feel good about it first. Like, I need to like change my thoughts and feel really good about it. It's like, no, you need to quit compiling, like find all the areas you're creating bullshit drama and clean that up. But then sometimes just don't look forward to some of this stuff. Like this morning when I went to work out, I didn't look forward to it. I didn't like it at all. I went out there and I got it done. And I'm going to tell you, probably like 35 of the 40 minutes that I worked out, I wanted to be somewhere else. I practiced wanting to be doing something else, wanting to be like feeling behind. I practiced feeling all of that while I still got my shit done. That is the skill sets you guys need to learn. And those are the things we crazy focus on inside the tribe. Been trying to change my thoughts, but so depressed. Listening to you every day for motivation, but still sad. How do I change this? Saying F it to my daily plan. Make sure your daily plan is very realistic. Guys, I will say this 5,000 times. Most of you who are saying F it to your plans, you're not starting where you're at. You're starting with your idealized version of yourself. If you're strong-minded and you're ready to I'm ready to challenge myself. Guys, this is when I know someone needs the realistic plan. When you are creating plans from desperation, creating plans of this is what I should be doing, creating plans from I'm such a fuck up, I better get my shit straight, you need to start with realistic plans, because then you will say F it. When you are ready to challenge yourself and you're ready for those, super healthy Pinterest food prep things, it's because it's like, man, I'm going to fucking kill it this week. I'm so excited to see what all I'm made of this week. That mindset is totally ready for that. They're creating those types of plans that level up and challenge them from the exact mindset that's like, I'm ready to lean in and eat this shit even when I don't want to. Like, this is going to be me. Versus the person is like, your fucking pants are tight. You screwed up all week long. You better get your shit straight. We're going to this is what we need to be eating, because otherwise we're just going to be a fat ass the rest of our lives. And then we create this plan, and then the second we feel uncomfortable and we want something, we're willing to throw it all away. Because we've talked so terribly to ourselves about it that we didn't even motivate ourselves or convince ourselves that this is where we want to be. We don't want to be there. We're trying to force ourselves there. Don't do that anymore. Can I still lose weight if I'm not ready to stop drinking? It's a big part of my weekend socialization. You can, but you need to figure out what you're but you need to plan it. I'm not going to sit here and say you can tie on benders all weekend long and stuff, but you need to work on it's a big part of my weekend socialization. Why is drinking the most important part of it? If you want to lose weight and you want to socialize, why is drinking so important to that? Those are the questions to answer. I'm not saying you have to teetotal it and not have drinks and stuff. But when that's the most important part, and who you want to be and who you are with is secondary to can I have these drinks, that's when we want to just look at it and we just want to be curious about it. And we just want to say all right, I'm going to have some drinks, but I'm going to experience a little bit of discomfort while I enjoy my friends. I'm going to focus on my friends more rather than what I'm going to be drinking. It's no different than the people who want to eat and socialize on the weekend. It's what would it be like if I just focused on the people and what's happening and not the food and not the drinks? It's flipping the script. It's a very different experience. I'm a flight attendant, and it is hard at times to put down specific foods for a 24-hour plan. Is it okay to be non-specific or any suggestions? Yeah, I would just put down things like, I'm going to eat 2 to 2. If you when you are a flight attendant, you probably go to the same types of airports. You start getting to know which airports have what foods and stuff. You could do that. You could always say I don't do any of the in-flight snacks. You can have some of the things that are little little constraints you put on yourself, that kind of stuff. Is it okay to eat all the food on your 24-hour plan even if you're not hungry? No, you always only eat when you're hungry. Rule 1, we eat when we're hungry. I don't care if you plan it, but if you're not hungry, you don't eat it. Where do you get the 10% rule that exercise is only 10% of the recipe? Research. You can read it online. The main thing, Lisa, is what I see people do is they put so many eggs in the basket of exercise, and most people are not true pro athlete exercising. They're doing their hour of power at CrossFit thinking that they're they need to eat as if they're going to go play defensive tackle for the Titans, or they need to be Michael Phelps or something. It's what I like people to do is I like for them to take the emphasis off the exercise and put it all on the food. Now, if you have no problems with food and you just need to dial in nutrition around exercise, you're probably not here for that anyway. But when most of my girls, what ends up happening is they want the exercise to allow for them to be able to eat whatever they want, or they want the exercise to make up for them not working on what they're eating. I think exercise is wonderful. I do it every day. I love it. It's a key part of my lifestyle. But it is not what lost me 100 pounds. What lost 100 pounds was cleaning up my brain, which cleaned up my mouth. And now I'm not talking about the dirty language. But when I did those two things, then the exercise was a beautiful complement to that. But like putting your eggs in the basket of exercising as if that's what's going to do it. Like I literally see way more people. I have coached thousands of women for 12 years. And I have never seen any of them who prioritize exercise first, lose their weight long-term and keep it off if they didn't do the majority of the work. Like 90% of their work has to be on their brain and their mouth. Do your lessons apply to gastric bypass patients? Yes. In fact, we have a subgroup just for gastric bypass, or for all of my weight loss surgery girls, because one of the things that ends up happening with when people have weight loss surgery is they don't get the mental coaching that goes along with it. And we have several tribe members who have all had weight loss surgery, and that's like they work on it, and they are so good about giving back to our community on what they've learned and what they're doing. I just discovered your podcast last week, and I'm considering joining the tribe. I've already lost 80 pounds on my own. Good for you. Over the last 10 years, and I have around 20 to lose. The free program has been so helpful, but is the tribe right for someone like me? Yes. We have like a lot of our girls in here. That's kind of, a lot of people are attracted to me because they have lost weight, but what they have found is that last little bit is hard. And that's when all that, like if you didn't do a ton of mental work in the first part, that last little bit is where the mental part kicks in. So yeah, you would be fine. We have girls, guys, I'm just going to tell you, my passion is the people who have like 100 plus pounds to lose, because that's where I started. But I have more of a passion for helping women who just want to lose their weight for good. Like, I don't care if that's 5 pounds or 500 pounds. I just know that when it comes to weight, for a lot of us, it is so heavy emotionally. It is so heavy mentally. And that is what like really drives me, is to like not so much even watch my girls lose weight, because they lose all kinds of weight. But there is not a day that goes by that someone doesn't post inside of our tribe who has had a major breakthrough. We had somebody this week. It was, I cried when I read it. Her and her husband were intimate for the first time in a long time, because she got over so much of her mental shit as she's been working on her weight. She hasn't even lost all her weight. She just like, I just love that we work on so much more deeper level stuff, that it changes people's lives. You know, like I see so many of my tribe members, relationships with their mothers, relationships with their children, all changing on a significant level. That I think for me, that ends up being the most rewarding, because I used to think I just wanted to help women lose weight. And I always forgot that when I told Chris, when I first lost my weight, and was like in awe, and I was like, every woman should get to feel this way. Like I never knew that I could feel so good. And it was because I had learned how to talk so differently to myself. Somebody just asked, what does mental work mean? The mental work is like getting over your drama. Like no longer, like I tell my tribe all the time, like be willing to go to bat for yourself mentally, like on the inside. So often we're not. We're beating ourselves up over everything. Like what I just said to so-and-so, and you know, I was late for an appointment. I must be, I'm lazy. Like we'll overeat. I'm never going to be able to get my goals. Like we constantly will like take a bat to ourselves, but we're never willing to go to bat for ourselves on the inside. And learning how to do that is what mental work is all about. Mental work is about like learning the kind of person you want to be to you. And when you really start doing that, you start showing up different in your food. You start showing up different in your life. So like, I guess what I want to say is, my goal for all of you, whether you have 5 pounds to lose or 100 pounds to lose, is that you get to experience that amazing life. You know, I knew I wanted to teach women to lose weight because it's such a key component, but it was more about, can I teach women how to lose weight, keep it off for good, and feel as amazing as they deserve? And I feel like that is my mission. You know, it's like all 3 of those components have to be met. It's not just, I'm going to teach you to lose weight. That's where, like, bringing it back to what this whole Facebook Live is about, the keto diet and Weight Watcher points and anything else out there. You know, most of those programs, they're structured just to get your weight off. That's it. Because they're structured to think that if you just get your weight off, you'll feel really good physically, and that must mean that mentally you change. No. So many of us have lost weight and lost our weight scared shitless we'll gain it back. And that is what ends up causing us to gain our weight back, because we never learned how to drop that stuff. And so when I, really wanted to work on what my true mission in life was going to be, it was not only to teach women how to lose their weight, but I never wanted that weight to come back. And the best way to do that is to make sure that whatever I teach teaches women how to create a true lifestyle with how they think about themselves, with what they choose to put in their mouth, just how you're going to live the rest of your life. And then all of that is going to combine into women feeling pretty damn amazing. I think we're just not told often enough that that is available to us. Even if you're a high-stress doctor, lawyer, going back to some of our other comments, if you have, we have a lot of girls in my group with kids on the spectrum. We have all the things. It's like, you still get to have an amazing life because you're human. So, all right, y'all. If you want to listen to the podcast, it drops every Friday and Saturday. We have 2 different kinds. If you're new to me, you can go over to phit.click/podcast. And you can go to, I would listen to the first couple of episodes where you get our story. And because my co-host, Kathy, she's lost 80 pounds. I've lost 100 pounds. You get to kind of hear how we got started and stuff. And then you can just listen to them in any order you want after that. The Friday podcast is with Kathy. The Saturday one is this Facebook Live every single week. So if you want to make sure you never miss these, if you just joined us, then subscribe to the podcast. You also can take my free course, pnp411.com. It's an amazing free course. We have had women lose all kinds of weight with it. It will come to your inbox. There's videos. There's a workbook. It's really good. And then for all of you who, before the tribe opens, on Sunday, there is emails going out to the wait list and to anybody who's on the mailing list that's going to give you the page. It's going to have all the free trainings this month. Some of them are going to be just video replays, and some of them are going to be live sessions with me where you can come, you can ask me questions. I'm going to teach. I'm going to do all the things. So that's it. Y'all have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye, y'all.